Have you noticed that in life we learn lessons, and those lessons actually make us better, or they make us bitter? Um, and this is because the lessons that we learn, they are actually meant to to help us, live in this world. The lessons that we learn, they are there to help us to make steps, to progress from one stage to another in everything that we do in life. We don't just get born and we just grow like that. No, we learn lessons from the time we are born. The same way a parent teaches their child, values and habits that are going to help them, relate to everyone in this world. It's the same way that we learn each and every day, and we don't stop learning at all. Now, I'm looking at 2020, and I'm thinking, what are lessons that we are learning? And this is just not mere lessons like from outside there in the world, but these are lessons that we learn as believers. What are some of the things that we learn, that we see and get to know that God still remains to be God, in everything that is going on? Because I think it's so easy to forget who God is when life is not giving you what you expect. Now, take a look at this. The year begins, and 3 months down the line, things change. There's a ton of events in all different areas. The economy is affected, and there's the uncertainty of your job or your education. It's affected, or your family is plans that you had for your family. Everything just comes to a standstill. Or right now there's a go slow because of everything that happened. Now, one of the things that will keep you going is to get to understand that things of this world, even though we're learning, even though things are changing, in each and every day, but one thing that will keep you going is to understand that God never changes. No matter the circumstances, no matter what is happening, He never changes. He remains the same. Today, yesterday, and forevermore. He remains the same. He doesn't change. Now, look at 2020. If anyone was told to evaluate 2020, I think there will be a lot of negativity that will come with 2020. But looking at God's calendar, I think it's a flip. It's a flip of a coin. It's a vice versa. It's not what man thinks, but it is what God thinks. Now, what are some of the lessons that you've learned in 2020? That's one of the things that you need to think. What are some of the lessons that you've learned in 2020? I think one of the lessons that I've learned in 2020 is that I have no control over whatsoever that is happening in my life. Because if I think I have control, how about what happened in 2020 and things just flipped all over and changed? Could I have ever changed anything? Not really. Because I have to understand that it is God that gives us control. It is God that directs. It is God that leads. It's God that gives. It's God that provides. It's God that opens up those every door. In my life, I have to know that it is God that has control. Now, one of the statements that is coming clear during this season is that God is sovereign. God is sovereign. And when you say God is sovereign, it's like He does what He wills, does what He chooses. And doesn't mean that God is far away, when things are going hard and rough. No, actually, God is closer than ever. All He wants for us is to understand and get to learn that He is God, that He is Master, that He is the Savior in each and everything that is happening. Now, that is what we need to learn. That is what we need to understand, that He remains to be God. The Bible says that He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. And He will never change. He will never change. He remains the same until He comes back to take His church home. That's the whole purpose. That's the whole importance. That is what we need to focus in. That is what we need to know, that God is everything in everywhere.